All right, so last week I started a new series called Advice from Dad, where I answer questions that I get from my followers seeking advice on various issues that they're facing. This week I got a great question from a young man who's seeking some advice on his relationship. Let's dive in. He writes, I've been watching your videos a lot here lately. I've been struggling with the relationship I'm currently in now more than ever in the 3-year relationship. I am 21 and have always had issues trusting women because of my mom and dad's relationship and how it evaporated into a divorce that dragged my sister and I through hell and back. My problem is I've never been able to trust any girl I've been with until this one. She's a great girl. She just graduated from college and is in the first year of teaching and coaching. The problem is that in today's society, I can't decide if I want to spend my life with her and bring kids into this nasty world. I've also never thought sex would be such a hard thing to accomplish when you sleep next to your partner every night. I work long hours, and when I get home at night, it would be nice to come home to a woman enthusiastic to see me and appreciative of the hours I'm working to pay our bills, because the last year we've been living on one income. I am not saying that sex is everything in a relationship, but without makes me question my worth as a man to her. I've tried talking with her multiple times about it in the most respectful manner possible, but in the end it seems we're losing our intimacy. I know she would never run around on me, but I think maybe we are two different people in that regard. If you could you speak to that at all? I'm struggling to make a decision on my future. The way I look at it is, if I'm going to get married and have kids, it's going to be with her. Without her, I'm going to set myself up for a future on my own. Thank you. All right, so first thing I want to say to you is this. You're not alone. This is something that a lot of guys go through, and it is a difficult situation to be in. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to give you some things to think about, and then you can make the decision on what's best for you, because only you know the answer to that. Okay, with regard to your difficulties trusting due to dealing with the divorce of your mom and dad, I totally get it. I went through the exact same thing. And it took me a while to realize this, but the thing I would say to you is, as best you can, you need to separate that and judge your relationship on its own merit. Now, I can't tell you how to do that. If that's something you're struggling with, you need to seek professional help on that. But just remember, she is not your mom and dad, and she shouldn't be judged based on what they did. Now, you go on to mention that she's a great girl, and it sounds to me like in general you have a great life together. But I also understand what you're saying with you're not sure what you want to do in the future. As you mentioned earlier, you're only 21 years old. You've got a long life ahead of you and not much experience behind you. And I don't say that to knock you in any way, but that is the reality. When I was 21, I had no clue what I wanted. And most 21-year-olds don't. And that's okay. It's called life. So the first thing I would say to you is give it more time before you make any decision. If she's truly the one, she'll be willing to wait as much as you would be willing to wait for her. Now, as to the intimacy difficulties, well, my friend, this would take about 2 hours to unpack, but I'm going to give you the short and sweet version, and hopefully this will help you. If you're struggling with it now, it's probably going to be a struggle through the entire relationship, especially since you've already brought up your concerns and worries about it. If you've brought it up to her multiple times and nothing has changed and your worries or concerns haven't been addressed, that's a red flag. I'm not saying end the relationship, but it's something that you do need to fix. And if you can't address it yourself, maybe see a couples therapist and see if that'll do anything if you do truly want to be with her for the rest of your life. That said, having talked to thousands of men, if that issue's there, it rarely, if ever, gets resolved. The final thing I want to say is this. You mentioned that either she's the one or you're not going to get married at all. Look, I get that feeling, but again, I point out, you're a very young man of 21. She may or may not be the one, and I genuinely hope you can fix whatever problems you have and work it out, and she is the one. But if she's not, don't close the door on the future. And I know I say this, having said many times, marriage, that's a no-no right now for men. But it doesn't mean we can't have relationships, good relationships. And over time, if it's a solid relationship, then sure, maybe you do get married. But at 21, it's too soon to know, my friend. Way too soon to know. Since you've been in a 3-year relationship with her, I'm going to guess that this is your one and only relationship. And if you do choose to end it with her, there are plenty of other good women out there. Don't close the door on them. Be open to possibilities, but also protect yourself. I do hope this helps. And remember, the goal of these is to give advice. I am not a therapist. I'm not telling you what to do. And those of you that have watched this, feel free to chime in the comments. Let's be respectful. Let's be nice. I don't pretend to know everything. Maybe somebody else has a better way of putting it or a better idea to help this young man out.